welcome back to Monster Movie Night with your old pal, Bobby Monster, the internet horror host here at Gargoyle Manor, the Monster Museum. Well, folks, I'm glad you could make it back again this week. Guess where we're at this time? No, we're not at Gargoyle Manor, or inside the museum. We're actually at Gothic Charms. That's right, Gothic Charms, the magic store, where me and my wife and family own and operate weekdays, 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., all the time, every day, no vacations. Oh, well, once in a while we'll actually get to go to the Monster Bash once a year, and a few other little places, Monster Fest, and a few conventions and pagan festivals and things like that. But neither here nor there at the moment. Tonight we're going to have a fabulous, fabulous time. First we're going to talk about the last in the series. You remember the last few weeks we've been talking about the monster kingdoms and the hierarchies, and we're down to the witch. That's right, and of course you may be noticing that the old guy monster here is in his usual attire with the top hat and whatnot. I thought I'd get a little casual this time and perhaps throw on a few of my casual duds when I'm around the house and working in the store once in a while. So as you can see, I'm in my witch regalia, my garb, as you can see, because as some of you may have known already, but if not, gasp, yes, I am a witch, a male witch, not a warlock or a sorcerer or magician, just a male witch. In fact, my family tradition is called Halloween witchcraft. That's because it's centered around the month of Halloween, but I celebrate it all year round. Okay, that's enough about me for right now on that part. But the witch in the hierarchy of the monsterdom, actually, we saved it for last because usually it comes first, because it's the human part of the monsterdom. The witch being human in the fact that magic has been around as long as mankind. In fact, probably, it's safe to say, and of course some of the facts bear out, that they did find magical tools and symbols and drawings in caveman days in the caves. And so at one time in human history, magic was a commonplace thing. Therefore, it's not unusual to find things like that in the caves and stuff like that. So, putting that together, and we're going to jump a few, thousands of years ahead or so. Whoops. Excuse me 1 second. That's the old scare clock. No, it's not quite time yet for the movie, but thank you for letting me know. It won't be long. I promise you I won't go into too much of a tirade. But getting back to the witch in monster kingdom aspects, the witch pretty much was said to have used spells and rituals to turn themselves into werewolves. It's not all, but some. And of course, while they're out in their wolf man or werewolf guise, the wolf, not all went around terrorizing and eating people and things like that, of fables. In fact, it was quite handy from getting from one place to another, being able to hoof it on four paws instead of 2 legs, you know. And anyway, the story goes like this. The legends are thus. The witch could turn themselves into a werewolf. Now, if by chance the werewolf was killed at a certain time while they were still a werewolf, after 3 nights they would rise and be a vampire. Alright, that's simple enough. Of course, now later down the road, the ghoul came into it, as we had said before. Of course, the vampire, if they died without their head being cut off, it was said that they would rise back in 3 days' time as a ghoul, which would be a partly human type creature, that lives in graveyards and, of course, eats there, as we have discussed before, and wears the clothes and stays out in graveyards. So there we have it. From the witch to the werewolf to the vampire to the ghoul. That's how they're all collected together. And of course, in this day and age, the icons of Halloween, they have become significant with the month and the celebration of Halloween. But getting back to the witch, witchcraft nowadays is not quite as sinister as it once was. I'm not saying that all witches are good, but I'm not saying all witches are bad. In fact, I think we have something here in the, one second, in the store that actually says, are you a good witch or are you a bad witch? Well, it's right decorative and it's right cool, and it's actually a good question. And in fact, depends on who's asking and what time of day and what time of month and how I'm feeling. Depends on if I'm a good witch or a bad witch. Anyway, that's a little witch humor. Nowadays, it's actually called Wicca, which began back in the 1950s with a fellow named Gerald Gardner, who wrote a book, both fiction and nonfiction. And he took the old religion and basically put a few other things into it, and it became what we know as Wicca today, or witchcraft by the old religious, or the old religion type name. Anyway, let's get back to the stereotypical witch. And as you can see, we have Broomhilda here, and you can tell she has the green skin, and of course the nice pointy hat, and the broom, and everything. And of course, when she's turned on, she'll cackle, don't we all? Anyway, it's a wonderful time around Halloween time. And speaking of Halloween, we have, as you can see, our Halloween countdown clock. It's at this moment of the taping, it's actually 89 days, 7 hours, 43 minutes, and 30 seconds and counting. So you can tell that this is not this weekend that you're actually seeing me taped, and it was a few days before. But that's okay, don't hold it against me. By the time you see this, it'll be even that much closer to Halloween. And don't forget, before Halloween comes, to stop in at Gothic Charms, the magic store. We have everything that you could want for the season of Halloween, for that wonderful night, and as well as magical equipment and supplies. So that's a good plug for us. Alright? Before we go, I'd like to take this opportunity to have a shout out at my good friend, Mr. Bob Thomas, from the Horror Host Network. And he sent me a scare package the other day, and it's of wonderful, wonderful videotapes, or video CDs, or DVDs I think they're called nowadays. Got to come up with the times. Anyway, they're just great. I want to thank you for sending them to me. They're DVDs of other horror hosts and their shows, like Dr. Pureblood, and let's see here. We have the Dark Vault of Public Domain, and of course Penny Dreadful and the Shilling Shockers, and just so many more, as you can see. And I've been watching them, and Nightmare in My Eye and Boris, we've all been trying to get pointers so that we can boost our show up a little bit for you guys. And I want to thank you, Mr. Thomas, for sending these to me. And I just can't say enough. But I'm going to put these over here. And anyway, folks, thank you for being with us this week. And thank you for indulging me with the change of clothes as far as this week. Next week, don't worry, I'll be right back in my good old attire of the top hat, the cape, and all the works. And we'll be back at the Gargoyle Manor, the Monster Museum, in my good old chair in the living room. So, get ready for the movie. It's The Witchfinder General with Vincent Price. So grab your sweetheart, get some popcorn, some beverage, and Brunhilde and I are going to get ours and sit back and watch The Witchfinder General with Vincent Price. So until next week, everyone, I want to say, you know what's coming, right? Okay? All right. Keep screaming.